Hey there, Troy and Melissa here, and we are so grateful for our HopeQuest Hope for Today family. Grateful that you come and hang out with us. Our goal in this time for Hope for Today is just to authentically share our own lives and our own stories in a way that helps and encourages and inspires you. So here we are again today, and last week we kind of talked about a common scenario or situation or problem, which is you feel stuck, things get overwhelming, you don't know what to do, your emotions are maybe overwhelming, and so what did we talk about real quick, sweetheart? What are we supposed to do when we get overwhelmed and we don't know what to do?
So we do the next right thing.
We do the next right thing. Okay, so the next right thing helps us move forward.
That's right. And if you remember, we had this really cool acronym, ASK.
Ask.
Admit if there's a problem, seek help from others, and keep moving forward.
So taking that next right thing step forward keeps us from avoiding a major problem. And that major problem is kind of what I wanted to talk about as we lead into what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Because for me, I tend to get overwhelmed and I tend to feel stuck. And for me, what I tend to do during those times is not necessarily the next right thing, but it tends to be I reach for relief. I look for something that will help me distract myself from feeling overwhelmed. I look for something that will maybe help me just kind of forget about what's going on that's overwhelming me. And that certainly isn't the next right thing. But the other thing that I tend to do is when I make that, instead of choosing the next right thing, I choose the next wrong thing, so to speak. And then all of a sudden things snowball and I kind of give up. I give up for the day, or I give up for the week, or I give up for the month. But there's this all or nothing thinking that kind of takes hold of me and really pushes me towards, Troy, it's not worth it. Just forget about it. Just kind of give up, and you can start again tomorrow, or you can start again on Monday. And that sort of attitude is not healthy, and it's not helpful, and it doesn't keep us moving forward in recovery. And then the other issue I bump up against at times is, okay, fine, I'll do the next right thing. But golly, when are things going to get better? When are things going to start feeling normal? When am I not going to feel so overwhelmed? Or when am I going to feel confident in the path that I'm on? And so today's tip, if we could say it that way, helps us deal with these dilemmas that I've painted. So Melissa, talk to us real quick, your thoughts on those dilemmas and our tip for today.
So I think if I were to sum up the tip for today, it is small positive steps forward equal enduring change. And small steps towards change over the long haul, it's a journey, it's not an event. So small steps towards change equal enduring progress.
So what I hear you saying by that is, I do the next right thing, and maybe things still feel overwhelming, and things still are uncertain, and maybe things still aren't fixed. Mm-hmm. And so what you're telling me is, at that point, I just simply do the next right thing again, and a series of small next right things kind of adds up to a longer-term lasting transformation, longer-term lasting change.
Absolutely. It's easy for those of us in recovery to want to have some big grand event, a lightning strike kind of moment.
Paul had it.
Yeah, right.
Why can't I have it? Why can't God just fix me?
So, I would just point out that Paul had a lightning strike that opened his eyes to what he was doing wrong.
Good point.
But it was 3 years in the desert of God discipling him to position him to become the missionary that he was in the early church.
The lightning strike simply was the motivation to get on the path. There was still a long series of next right things.
That's exactly right. And it can be very discouraging and overwhelming. Mm-hmm. We want this big, grand moment where, boom, we're changed in an instant and we're not on a journey of sanctification and transformation.
Well, and the other thing that we want is maybe not a grand, big moment, but we want there to be some progress that very quickly makes the problem go away. And okay, I'm cool with kind of continuing along, but please get the problem out of the way as quickly as possible. And it doesn't always work that way. What I've got to remember is, in recovery and in life, anything worth pursuing is going to require you to exercise your ability and opportunity to choose small steps over time in a consistent basis. And those small steps add up, and the next thing you know, it's been a good day, it's been a good week, it's been a good month, but it's because we've been faithful, even when overwhelmed and even when not knowing what to do. We're faithful to say, okay, I'm going to do the next right thing, and even if nothing changes, I'm going to look and see, okay, what's the next right thing after that? And even if nothing changes, I'm going to look around and say, okay, what's the next right thing after that?
Yeah, and I think what I want everyone to hear is that there are these hiccups on our journey where sometimes we think, I'll never be whole, right? Like, I'll make a misstep or I'll have a bad day. And so the temptation is just to give up and to just let myself sink into that pit of despair that says it's hopeless. I'm never going to be whole. I'm never going to be well. This is always going to be a problem for me. Why even try? And so the thing about that is God isn't interested in perfection. He never has been. He's interested in our relationship with him that keeps us connected and on a journey of transformation. And so when I say small steps towards change, it's this grace-filled message that what we need to do today is just do the small step that's going to create a healthy, positive outcome for us. And when we do that and maintain that over time, we do end up changing.
Well, and we say a lot. You've heard us say, the goal is progress, not perfection. And for some of us, and I would fall into this camp, I want perfection. Progress bores me. Progress takes too freaking long. I want perfection
And hard work.
And I don't want hard work. I don't want months. I want perfection, and I want it now.
Yeah.
But the reality is, progress, not perfection, is the goal. And the way that we achieve that goal is simply looking and saying, what's the next right thing? And then I'm going to string together a series of next right things. I'm going to simply do small steps and recognize that small, consistent steps lead to lasting transformation. Now, the Bible talks about this as well, sweetheart. Tell us about that.
So, in Galatians, the Bible tells us very clearly in chapter 6 that we reap what we sow, right? And if you sow good things into your life, you're going to reap good things. And if you sow not so good things into your life, you're going to reap negative consequences. And if you read further into that passage, it says, please don't grow weary in doing the right things, the good things, because in due time, God promises us that we will reap a good harvest of that. That in the end, the effort that we put into our recovery, into growth, into transformation, into loving well, whatever it is we're sowing into our lives, into the lives of the people that we love, we are going to reap a benefit, a harvest of good fruit in that.
Yeah, one translation says literally, don't give up. And that's what we want to encourage you guys to do today. You may be feeling overwhelmed. You may be in a season of uncertainty. There may be some very painful things going on right now. Certainly the world is not like we wished it would be at the moment.
For sure.
But I just want to encourage you. God has not given up on you. God has not stopped loving you. He cares deeply about your situation. And I just want to encourage you to simply do small steps each and every day, sometimes moment by moment. And if you'll take that next right thing and string together a bunch of those into a series of just small, consistent steps, then I promise you that God will join you in that effort. And God will, in fact, empower that effort in a way that those small, consistent steps will equal long-term and lasting change. Any last words, sweetheart?
I think one of the things that I really love about you, and I'll just do a shout out for you, is that in our 20 years of recovery, you have strung together a lot of next right things. And there's been a lot of change in both of us since we started. And so we are living, breathing examples that this principle works. God is faithful, God is good, and he honors what he says.
I look back 20 years ago, and I certainly wasn't expecting there to be 20 years of hard work. I should have been perfect by now. But I think, you know what I've concluded? I'm never going to be perfect.
There's
and
probably grace for that.
there probably is grace for that. There's grace for you as well. We love you. We appreciate you. Please pray for HopeQuest. Got some exciting things to talk about to you soon. Also, if you wouldn't mind liking the video below, sharing the video either via YouTube or via however you got to this video. Maybe you got it via social media, Facebook, maybe you got it via an email. But share this video with a friend. There are others out there that are discouraged, that are overwhelmed, that don't know what to do. And these two videos, the last 2 weeks, 51 and 52, can be a significant help to them. So thank you. We love and appreciate you. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.